Hello everyone, I am Jason Alcott, author of The Sewing Principle. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. Today I want to talk about the word transition, what it means in our life. Because when I think about the word transitions, I think that we're always transitioning. I'm not the same person today that I was yesterday. I've had a whole new set of experience over the last 24 hours. Maybe I've learned something new. I hope I've learned something new or experienced something or been challenged by something, pushed in a new direction, been given a bigger glimpse of what God wants to do in and through me, sowing into the future. I'm not the same person today that I was yesterday. And I hope that's the same for you, that as I'm going through life, I'm always transitioning. I'm always sort of moving into this person that God wants me to become. And so this idea of transitioning I wanted to talk about today, not in that micro sense of the, moving and transitioning from day to day, but more in the larger sense. I want to talk about transitioning from two perspectives. The first transition is the transitions that you choose, and the second one being transitions that choose you. So the first type of transitions, the transitions that you choose. What I'm talking about is like moving from being single to maybe to being engaged, right? Or engaged to being married. Or you're transitioning from school into the workforce, or from one particular job into another job, or one career to another career, or another business to another business. We approach these transitions, I find personally, these transitions that we choose, I think we often approach them with rose-colored glasses on, right? The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. We often look at these transitions and we go, man, I just can't wait to make that step. And then things are going to get better, right? I'm in this job, but my life will be so much better if I go and switch over to this job. It was my mother that said this to me the other day. She said, which inspired this whole conversation, she says, every transition has its challenges, even the good ones. If we can recognize that, every situation that we go into where we're going to transition and make a change, we are going to face a challenge. Even if the outcome will be better in the long run, we're going to go through a period of having to learn the new skill set, whatever that is, right? We're going to need to learn through that, grow through that into the person that can now thrive in that new environment. But I think sometimes when we're sitting there just evaluating that choice of, should I transition from, here to there, or should I change from this job to this job, or I can't wait to go from being, single to being married, or I can't wait to get out of university so that I can get into the workforce. Sometimes we look at it with these rose-colored glasses and we're not actually prepared for what we might be stepping into. Even in these great transitions that might be happening in your life, recognize that you are going to be challenged and go in with a heads up that that's the way life works. That means that those are opportunities for God to continue to allow us to become more of who He wants us to be, to continue to allow us to sow into His purpose in our life, to continue for us to take steps towards that dream that He's given us. But that challenge is what builds us. And the second type is the transitions that choose us. Maybe you've gotten fired from a job, or a relationship has ended suddenly, or you're all of a sudden faced with a health crisis that you didn't see coming, right? These are transitions that we maybe don't have any say in, or didn't do anything to bring upon ourselves, or they catch us off guard. And I find it's interesting, this is often the other side of the coin, right? There's really no chance for us to put on the rose-colored glasses because we've stepped outside in the middle of a Canadian winter and it's taken our breath away. We didn't see it coming. Now I think we're coming at it from another perspective where it's like smack in the face, and in certain situations you're like, oh my goodness, this is not good, and you actually only see maybe the negative end. In this particular moment, I want to draw your attention to come back to that idea of becoming anti-fragile. How are you going to choose to respond when life hits you in the face? Because life happens to all of us. But in these transitions, where there's an opportunity for transition that we don't see coming, that's where we actually do get to say, hey, you know what? There is an opportunity here. There is a challenge for us here. You're growing. You're becoming stronger. And these challenges are there to help you build into the person that God wants you to become. I think of transitions like this and what the devil may have tried to use to destroy you or to tear you down. God will use that for good. He will take those transitions, those difficult challenges, those things that come across your path, and He will use those in His bigger story. He will allow those to build you into the person that He wants you to be. Hold on to that promise. So I believe that who we are gets built as we go through transitions. I think often the transitions that we don't choose, the ones that choose us, have the opportunity to build us the most because they kind of drive us to our core, gets into our character. Now we're coming through a challenging situation, becoming more anti-fragile. But I think if we walk into the transitions that we choose with a very heads-up attitude, with a very heads-up mindset of, hey, you know what, there are going to be challenges here, but I am going to grow through them and to grow into that person that I'd like to become, I think we can really learn a lot there and allow those to build us. I think back on my time when I went to university and college and did my 4-year degree. I think I went into that with some rose-colored glasses, but those 4 years helped to build me. But if I had walked in a little bit more with with a little bit more of a heads up of, hey, these next 4 years, I'm going to allow them to build me. The challenges of going to university, the things that I'm going to get to learn, the opportunities to learn to think on my feet and to research and to do all of these things that allowed me to graduate. What built me through university wasn't necessarily what I learned in the textbooks, so little of which I remember, but it was sort of the relationships and some of the work ethic and, how do I grow through this? That's what built me. And then coming out of university and going into the workforce, I know that, as every transition I've made in the workforce from one job to the next or whatever it is, some of them have been planned and some of them have been unplanned. Yes, I've been fired. That's a story for another day. But, all of those have built me, right? But going in with that heads up idea as I make a job change, hey, I'm going to have an opportunity here to grow, to learn, to become a better version of myself, to grow into the person that God's calling me to, whether I've made the choice for that transition or the choice has been made for me. And so today I just want to encourage you. You're either in a season of transition right now, or you're probably going to be in one very soon. That's how life works. I want to encourage you to go in with a heads up, recognizing that you are someone that is anti-fragile and becoming more anti-fragile each day, recognizing that you are someone that continues to learn and grow. You're a lifelong learner. In each transition, you're being built into the person that God wants you to become and is growing into, to go after the dreams and goals and vision that God's given you for your life. And I'm so excited for you, for the vision that God has for your life and what's happening for you right now. So thank you so much for the opportunity to spend some time with you this week. I hope you have an absolutely blessed rest of your day, and I look forward to connecting with you again next week.